the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
For 5 straight years, basketball fans have watched one of the game's most talked about rivalries grow, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers, 2 high school superstars who chose different journeys, with Clark going to Iowa and Bueckers to UConn. And while Clark consistently took control of their college battles, especially on the NCAA tournament stage, questions remained, as critics like Geno Auriemma wondered whether her dominance would truly carry over to the WNBA, but last night that long running storyline reached a new chapter when the two finally faced each other as professionals, with the Indiana Fever hosting the Dallas Wings. And what followed wasn't just another matchup, it was a historic moment, as Clark once again did something only she has ever done, accomplishing a rare feat she has now achieved just twice, turning an ordinary game into a night fans won't forget. Imagine 2 teenage basketball stars capturing attention all across the country, clearly set on a path that would keep them linked for years, as Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers first went head-to-head in high school, both entering the spotlight as elite recruits, but with very different styles and personalities, where Clark was known for her fearless scoring, sharp passing, and ability to hit from far beyond the arc, while Bueckers stood out for her calm efficiency, reliable mid-range game, and exceptional court awareness that matched Clark's in its own way.
Hey, Caitlin. You've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU. She's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She's just she just plays way older than she is. She's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all 3 levels, and that's how she's always played, and that's obviously translated.
Their college journeys took very different turns, with Bueckers committing to the famous UConn program led by Geno Auriemma, joining a powerhouse built on championship history, while Clark chose Iowa, a team eager to make its mark on the national stage. And that choice fueled unforgettable NCAA tournament showdowns that shaped how both players were seen, as Clark and Iowa shattered UConn's title hopes during March Madness, with Clark delivering huge performances when the pressure was highest, including a stunning 41-point game that knocked the Huskies out early, as she consistently outperformed Bueckers in their direct matchups, winning 2 of their 3 college meetings. And soon fans and analysts began choosing sides, turning their competition into a near-legendary rivalry that grew far beyond college basketball itself.
A lot of people are saying, oh, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
Geno Auriemma openly shared his doubts about Caitlin Clark's game, pointing to her shot choices and questioning whether her style would succeed in the WNBA, especially when compared to his own star, Paige Bueckers, as he felt Bueckers' strong fundamentals and polished approach would translate more smoothly to the pro level, and in many ways Clark's high volume, explosive scoring versus Bueckers' calm, efficient play came to represent 2 very different ideas of what basketball greatness should look like.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Both players entered the WNBA with fans eagerly waiting for the moment they would finally face each other as professionals, setting the stage for their first league matchup, with Clark carrying a 2-1 edge from their college meetings, but also facing fresh doubts about how her game would translate at the pro level, and the hype was enormous, With ABC choosing to air the game nationwide, knowing it would attract viewers from all over the country, while Clark's recent difficulties with the fever added even more pressure, making this game a defining moment for her image and future.
Our player development coach yesterday, and he was like, just sent me a few things of like even Steph going through a slump. I think he was like 27 for his last 70 or something like that. Like the best in the world go through it, and I think that's like where you can find your confidence. And I think the thing I always fall back on is like, I know how hard I've worked, so you know this isn't something that's going to last, and the best players in the world go through this. So I feel like I'm getting good shots, and I think that's why it's frustrating, because those are the shots that I make.
This is where the story took a sharper turn, because Clark's Indiana Fever were struggling badly heading into this highly anticipated matchup, coming off frustrating losses to teams they were expected to beat, as defeats against the LA Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries shocked fans and raised serious concerns, since these were not elite contenders, but games the Fever should have comfortably won.
I feel like this stretch, you know, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is like, we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together. And then we go on the road, and, you know, we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself, no matter who you're playing. We play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, you know, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So in that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us. And I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room is doing.
Behind the scenes, a real battle of ideas was taking shape between Caitlin Clark's desire for a fast, aggressive style and Coach Stephanie White's preference for a slower, more controlled game, as Clark wanted to speed things up, attack in transition, and create quick scoring chances, while White focused on structured half-court offense, and this difference in philosophy led to growing tension within the team, because Clark's strengths shined most in an up-tempo system that the current scheme didn't fully allow, and everything came to a head during a game against the Atlanta Dream when Clark and White were caught in a heated exchange on the sideline, with cameras capturing every intense moment, making it clear through their expressions and words just how deep and serious the conflict between them had become.
There is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the 3rd situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. And it looked like Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before halftime.
Lineup changes only made things harder, as Clark was coming back from injury, trying to regain her rhythm, and Dyrus Dantas had just returned from national team duty, throwing the team's chemistry off completely, making it tough to find consistent rotations or offensive flow while players adjusted to shifting roles, and the struggles were obvious. Missed shots piled up, turnovers ruined promising possessions, and the fast break game Clark excelled at was nowhere to be seen, with Clark herself admitting, "I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game. Then we play a good game. Then we play a bad game." While her shooting slump became a major worry, though she stayed confident, saying, "I'm never going to stop shooting," likening her struggles to the occasional cold streaks of Steph Curry. And though the Fever finally ended their losing streak with a win over Atlanta, the tension between Clark and White remained, leaving their philosophical differences unresolved but temporarily set aside.
You know, it can be frustrating when your shot isn't going in the way that you want it to, but then like I look at the box and it's like, I'm really 4 shots away from having a really good game, a really good shooting game. So that's where you find your confidence. And I know those are shots that I can make, and I'm never going to stop shooting. So, I mean, until I break out of it, I'm just going to keep launching, and that's all I know. And I'm still confident in everything that I can do.
The game against Dallas turned into the ultimate test, raising the question of whether White would finally let Clark play her preferred style, or if their philosophical divide would continue to limit the team, and this internal tension made the matchup against Bueckers even more high stakes, with Clark determined to show her approach could succeed at the pro level, and then everything clicked. Stephanie White finally made the bold choice to let Clark take control, allowing her to set the tempo and run the offense her way. A major shift that wasn't just a minor tweak, but a full trust in Clark to lead the team at the pace she thrived in.
Lee Rue the other night had a season-high 18 points. Here's Boston turning the corner. Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark. A deep three. You bet! And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown Fever.
At the start of the game, it wasn't obvious that the new strategy would pay off as both teams tested each other in the first quarter, with the Fever looking solid but not dominant, gradually finding their rhythm while Clark worked to involve her teammates, but the explosive moments hadn't arrived yet, and with the Wings matching their energy, the game remained tight and competitive.
Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping three is good. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, baiting away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Clark off the screen, through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13 as Howard is up to 18 points.
Then the second quarter exploded as everything fell into place, with Clark pushing the pace like never before and connecting with teammates through those full-court passes fans had nicknamed touchdown passes, as the Fever poured in an incredible 36 points in just 10 minutes, outscoring Dallas by 21 in the quarter alone, delivering not just great basketball, but a performance that felt effortless, precise, and unforgettable.
And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell. A tenacious start from Caitlin Clark. Here's Agumbawale off on a three. Long rebound. Mitchell. You're not going to catch her. Kelsey Mitchell in for two. They elevate each other because of how hard they compete. Nice look, Aaliyah Boston with a gorgeous dime to Kelsey.
Clark's leadership sparked an incredible response from her teammates, with Kelsey Mitchell catching fire, scoring 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting and extending her double-digit streak to 21 games, hitting shots from all over the court and feeding off Clark's energy, while Natasha Howard moved effortlessly up and down the floor, finishing with 18 points on 8 of 9 shooting and attacking the rim with unstoppable force. And Aaliyah Boston dominated inside, using her size and strength to control the paint, converting nearly every opportunity Clark created, as the chemistry between Clark and Boston was flawless. Clark drew defenders with her speed and immediately found Boston for easy baskets.
Mitchell bounces, Boston, one more time. This time Mitchell delivering. And Boston up to 13 points. Indiana shooting 66%.
What made this performance truly historic was the Fever putting up a franchise record 64 points in the first half, playing the most beautiful basketball of the season, and surpassing the previous 63-point mark set in 2016 against the New York Liberty, while also recording the highest scoring half by any WNBA team in 2025. And their 30 assists tied another franchise record, with 13 coming from Clark, showing she could lift everyone around her when given freedom, not just scoring but making her teammates better, moving the ball with purpose and creating constant threats, while Sophie Cunningham added the perfect spark off the bench with 13 points, including a driving layup that brought her to 1,500 career points, giving the Fever another weapon that Dallas simply couldn't stop.
The rebound. Cunningham swiftly up the floor, finds Howard for two. Sophie Cunningham making a huge impact off the bench, and Dallas will take a timeout.
In this lineup, Natasha Howard is the quickest post player on
The Fever's 36-point second quarter tied for the third highest single quarter total in franchise history, shooting an incredible 76.2% from the field and going on a 33-9 run that lasted nearly 8 minutes, leaving the Wings unable to respond as the game quickly turned into a blowout, with Dallas looking exhausted and confused, completely overwhelmed by Indiana's pace and energy. And Clark's vision for fast, aggressive basketball proved flawless at the professional level, showing that when White finally let her lead, the results weren't just a win. They were historic proof that her style could dominate in the WNBA.
Good dub. 2 in a row. 2 more to All-Star. Let's go. Woo!
W. Oh, Fever down, so you already know what's coming. Bow, bow, bow! On to the next. Hell yeah! Can you use that one? Let's go, baby. Give your jersey to Kristen. W. Now we gotta go get another one.
Then came the moment that will be remembered forever, as Clark didn't just lead her team to victory. She made WNBA history, quietly putting together a stat line achieved only once before in league history, doing everything on the court by scoring efficiently when needed and setting up her teammates perfectly. And then her impact on defense began to shine, with 14 points showing her scoring efficiency, 13 assists proving she could elevate everyone around her, and defensive plays piling up as she read passing lanes and anticipated the wings' next moves almost before they happened, dominating every aspect of the game.
Bounce. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away and dropping it in. Beautiful mid-range fadeaway from Caitlin Clark.
The moment that made history came when Clark notched her 5th steal of the game, completing a stat line of 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals, making her the only player in WNBA history to achieve this exact combination twice in a career, standing alone with this rare accomplishment. And her defensive impact went far beyond the steals, including a block that immediately led to a fast break assist to Sophie Cunningham, showcasing her full court awareness and ability to turn defense into scoring, constantly disrupting the Wings' offense and making every possession feel dangerous whenever she was on the floor.
Attack the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown, Fever.
Sophie Cunningham runs the route and puts her hand up in the air, gives Caitlin Clark the target, barely over the fingertips of Hines Allen. Beautiful, beautiful pass, catch, in stride, finish. Beautiful basketball.
Paige Bueckers and the Wings had no answer for Clark's all-around performance, with the most telling stat being Auriemma's Anali going 0 for 10 from the field and finishing with just 2 points, as Clark's defensive pressure combined with the Fever's team defense completely shut down one of Dallas' key players, highlighting Indiana's total dominance, while the Wings' strategy of playing physical and grabbing Clark off the ball failed entirely, since she turned their aggression into opportunities to find open teammates and attack the basket herself. Every time the Wings tried to slow her down physically, Clark found a way to make them pay, and the final 102-83 score told the full story, as she answered every critic and silenced anyone who doubted her WNBA readiness, delivering not just a great game but a statement performance that proved she belonged among the league's elite, showing she wasn't just adjusting to the professional level, she was redefining what's possible and the rivalry. With Bueckers had entered a new chapter with Clark boldly writing the opening pages in dominant fashion.
Feel like this was one of their best games as far as playing Fever basketball, which is a fast-paced style of basketball. They played Fever basketball for, I would say, about 75 to 80% of the game. And we have obviously seen this style of basketball, the style of basketball that we all know and love from the Indiana Fever, but we have only really seen it in short spurts. There have been so many games and so many times throughout this season where it feels like the Fever system is a slow down basketball type of system. Their offense wasn't running smoothly, but in this game, they were playing quick. They were moving the ball around. They had so many points off of the fast break.
The prophecy is complete, as Clark has proven she belongs among the WNBA's elite while achieving a historic milestone only she can claim, and this dominant win over Bueckers and the Wings showcase the Fever's full potential when Clark is allowed to play her style, with franchise records broken and individual accomplishments stacking up throughout the game. Most importantly, the team finally clicked when White trusted Clark's vision, and with the second half of 2025 ahead and this rivalry just starting its professional chapter, fans have every reason to be excited for what's next, as the Fever face tough road games against Connecticut and New York, And if you're pumped to see the Fever with Clark leading the way, comment CC Record Breaker, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.